What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? I already have 5 viewers. I really appreciate you guys checking in. So today we have a very special guest. We have an OG of Massachusetts Kayak Bassin. He's been there since the beginning, since Ken started to run it. Bruce Ley, everybody. Welcome aboard, Bruce. I got a little surprise for you.
What's going on, man?
I don't know why this picture is so funny. This picture just it gets me going every time I see it. So I want everybody else to enjoy it. I mean, it's going to make an appearance every once in a while. So cool. All right, before I get things started, I want before I get things rolling, I just want to bring up that one of our buddies actually capsized not too long ago, capsized this past weekend, and he lost a ton of gear. He lost rods, batteries, a motor. He lost a bunch of good stuff. So we're throwing together a benefit, an online tournament on Fishing Chaos. It's called Capsize Comrade. It's an open, so you don't have to be a member of Massachusetts Kayak Bassin to be involved. You don't have to be in the state. You can donate, but you have to be in the state to actually participate. So if you guys can go to the MAKB page, the Facebook page, and sign up, donate to this great guy. He's been, almost an OG. He's one of the nicest guys that I know, that we know. So if you could all do a favor and check that out, donate if you can. If you can't, we get it. Appreciate it. I'm going to be bringing this up back at the end of the podcast. Oh, we lost Bruce. We lost Brucey. He'll be back in a minute. So we can talk. Give me some questions here. Oh, Bruce is back. Come on, Bruce. His internet connection isn't the greatest, so we're gonna work with it. No, it's okay, man. You're out in Marshfield, so yeah. All right, Bruce. Yeah, Bruce. So you're one of the original members, and one of the original staff members of Massachusetts Kayak Bassin. How did you find this club?
It started out, there was a handful of us. I think it was in late 15, 16, I can't remember. But it started out with all of us fishing BBS. So we got into that pretty heavily right out of the hole. I mean, it was so when Hannah started that, it was because we just gotten into kayak fishing. Some of us.
Man, his internet connection is not looking good. Bear with us. We're gonna try to get this figured out. Maybe he's gonna have to sit next to the router, or if he has a laptop or something. I do apologize. Here he is. Bruce, are you on an iPad or something?
Yeah, I
am. Is there any way that you could sit next to the router, or if you have a laptop with a webcam or something, because you keep dropping out? And I mean, I've done this on Zoom calls with you before, and we have this issue, so we'll get to the bottom of it.
Yeah, no issues. Pain in the ass. So anyways, I started out with beats. What's that?
Nothing. Adam Rourke said net zero. That's bringing it back. Yeah. Wow, man, this is brutal. Yeah, it looks like with the money that he won from the Nashua, he's going to have to put towards a new router. We might not be able to do this. So how you guys doing tonight? Were you guys expecting Happy Pride Month? Yeah, I'm sorry, Ken. This is out of my hands at this point. All right, Bruce. Give me a testing check 1 2 1 2. Let's see how clear we get now.
Yeah, check 1 2. So ridiculous.
All right.
I got you, but I don't know why it keeps dropping me. I don't know if it's the link, but
I'm not sure either.
I mean, my internet's fine. It's showing I have. But anyways, so that sucks. But anyways, BBS, then went our separate ways. Then Ken started Massachusetts Kayak Bassin, and we really got ramped up in 2017.
Oh my God. You guys have me fine, right? It's not my connection booting them or something. Walmart connection. Walmart probably has a better connection, honestly, Matt. Oh man, I might have to have one of the maulers on. I might have to change some stuff here. I'm good. All right, thanks, Adam. Bruce, how's cell service?
We'll try one more time if this doesn't work.
Try it. Give it a go on your phone, an iPhone. If you might be able to give it a go on your iPhone with the cell service instead of Wi-Fi.
No,
if you have good cell service.
No.
Okay. No. Or maybe Samsung, whatever you got, might be able to work.
I'm sitting next to the router now. So if this happens again, we're gonna have to try this some other time. It's for whatever reason I'm having trouble with my Wi-Fi.
No sweat, man. Yeah, let's just rock and roll.
Where are we?
So you're talking about how you fished the Boston Bass Stranglers, and then it was another trail, and then you guys went your separate way, and then Ken, that's when he started MAKB, and then you started talking about in 2017 how you guys were ramping up. All right. Let's see. It might be a Maulers episode. Whoa, here we are. Let's see. We got
this is. So this isn't going to work, John, unfortunately.
I mean, I got you now. You seem way clearer now. Or not clear, but for your voice, it sounds better. You're not lagging as much, but I lied and I spoke too soon.
Yeah. Yeah, what it is, it's like it lasts for like a minute and a half and it kicks. Yeah.
Bizarre. Well, Bruce, we will. He's gone. All right, I'm inviting the Maulers. Let's go, Maulers. All right, so I just shot out an invite to the Maulers. Feel free to join, Maulers, Massachusetts Maulers, who just came from a real butthole pucker of a tournament last weekend. All right, so Matt Conant is driving, so I think he's gonna join. We still got Mr. O'Brien, Ken Wood. What are you guys up to? Somebody's got to join me. Who wants to join me? I'm not very good at talking alone. Anybody ever throw the depths bull flats? Anybody? No? Thinking about tossing some around this weekend. I'll have to message Ken. Ken's mad at me. Ken's mad at me because we're at a loud restaurant. God dang it. All right, okay. Let's see. Let's try this one. Let's try this person. It's going to be a surprise. You giving it another go, Bruce?
Yeah, myself.
God.
I don't know what it is, man. It must be the stream app because keeps kicking us out.
Yeah, it's lagging pretty good. And I can't do anything on my end. Steve O'Brien, my favorite color is lilac. It's like a lavender. Real nice, soft, neutral color that makes me feel safe. All right, so let's give it another shot since you're on here. I mean, you're not doing too bad right now. It is a little laggy, and your screen's doing crazy stuff, but maybe it'll pick up voice pretty good.
All right, give it a shot. Any good or what?
I don't know. Just start talking. Tell us how you got into a kayak.
Geez, that was funny. I think my kid's the one that got me started on that. I always fished John boat and bass boat, but we ended up getting some cheap sit-ins, and then I graduated up to a FS10, which I still own. And 2017, when we really started ramping up and I think we were averaging between 10 and 15 guys. That's when the club rates really. I actually did pretty well that year. I think I won 5 events. Finished top 3 or top 5 almost every event, I think, that year. Obviously got Angler of the Year, and I don't know, made a bunch of money, and that's what really got me.
Yeah, so I mean, if people aren't following the MAKB trail right now, Bruce basically hammered into the AOI spot. He's chasing that AOI title just like he did in 2017.
Yeah, it's started out slow, a little odd for me this year. I was struggling trying to put a limit on the board, and then the last 3 events just kind of went back to old school and put a pattern together that's kind of stuck with me, and minus my knockout match, but whatever. And it's really worked out. Pleasantly surprised. I think it started at Watuppa, fighting back and forth with the lead all day. Same thing, same pattern. Started out early, minus getting on a couple bedfish and screwing with them for about a half hour or so. Same. It's just an odd pattern that I went back to, and it's been pretty productive, to say the least.
So now you said you're on a pattern. You're doing similar things on every tournament. Do you think it's the time of year that these things are being successful? And do you think that potentially come, the dog days of summer where the water's rearing 80 plus degrees and the grass is high, and do you think that's all going to change, or do you think you can recreate what you've been doing in these past tournaments that you've had success?
Well, a lot has to do with weather. So the weather pattern, as you know, through most of our tournaments this year have been overcast, shitty, rainy, windy. And that particular pattern that I've been using shines in those circumstances. So, as long as the weather keeps up, I think I can withhold the same pattern throughout the rest of the season. A lot of people fish what I've been fishing differently, so I think, Ken and I have pretty much the same, fishing style. So when it comes to throwing, a bladed bait, it's different. I'm not throwing to, there's definitely an art to it, I guess. I've been throwing, well, it's no secret, obviously.
Well, don't tell anybody on here.
Okay. But the case, the thing is, I've been throwing this particular bait for, I don't know, basically my entire life. First time I was ever introduced to one as a kid, I think it was like my second cast, I got like a 3-pounder. So since then, it's always been a go-to. But as soon as the old chatterbait came out, that kind of took precedence, and I think it still does. And I don't know if maybe why, that could possibly be the reason why what I'm doing now has been making a difference, because everyone's so locked on that single blade that it's might have made a difference. You know what I mean? Just like they say, anytime there's a new bait, so it tends to overused, and I think that's what's happening now. So, but we'll see. People still crush it on chatterbaits. I still crush it on chatterbaits. I just just changed a little bit.
It's a tough argument to have because there's literally constant success with the chatterbait everywhere in the entire country. I mean, maybe people are losing confidence in it because the fish are seeing it more, or in some areas they're not seeing it at all. But I know it's always 1 or 2 is always tied on when I go out, and I can say that probably 99% of the people that I fish with. But funny story, that bait that you're talking about, I have a bait in my hand. I have a bunch of baits all over my desk that I play without through a podcast, so don't mind me. I went to my father's house, he lives on a small pond, and I never really inspect his gear, but he had a rod that he was just fishing with, and I grabbed the rod and I looked at the bait tied on, and I was like, wait a second. Is this an old man bait? Because I know a guy who throws this all the time, and it was the same bait that you throw. And he's like, yeah, I caught like a 2-pounder on it last night. I'm like, oh, that's too funny. So I don't know if it's for the 100-year-old men who've been fishing for a while, but it works.
Well, I can tell you the manufacturer, because there's actually 2 styles, and the old famous black and blue that everyone knows. So Strike King originally came out with a great bait. I think there was another manufacturer that started making a big, what's the word I'm looking for? Influx on the fishing world, and then out of nowhere, here comes Strike King again. Made a few improvements on some of their baits, and I think that's, to me right now, is probably the best bait maker for this particular bait that I've been using. So I just wanted to, to me, it's important for people to know what's out there when it comes to, especially the new guys into our club. and it seems like, more and more every year we're getting a bunch of new guys, and there's been a lot of guys that have come on recently that haven't fished much, and they're always looking for pointers. And I've never been the guy to steer them wrong. I mean, come tournament day, that's something different, but we all, as you know, walk around each other's kayaks. Well, at least I do. I check out everyone's shit just to make sure I'm on the same page.
Yeah.
But that's kind of like an ongoing joke. You know what I mean? Everyone goes poking around, and then when you look, it's like everyone's basically got the same shit, minus obviously like drop shot kings and all that crap. Which everyone knows I'm not a finesse guy by any means. But fast and hard is how I like to fish, and it's always worked out. Cover more water. But I've also made the mistake of leaving fish, and it's cost me a tournament too.
Yeah, the old saying goes, "Never leave fish."
Mind.
Yep, and it can't be more accurate. I can't. There's more than a handful of guys that have literally left fish to find fish, and then paid the price by either getting bumped out of cashing a check or even losing the tournament. It's crazy how that happens.
Happens a lot, man. I don't even, a bunch. Happens a bunch.
Cool. So you started out in the Ascend FS10, and then what'd you upgrade to? And what are you currently fishing out of?
It's been the same boat now for 3 seasons now, which is the Old Town PDL. That was Mike and Gail from MGC. They had a lot in helping me out get that boat, and since then it's been life changing. I know as well as I do, everyone under the sun is getting trolling motors and doing their thing, and eventually I'm probably going to have to go that route because my ailments, we'll call them, my back. But for right now, I still like the exercise, and that thing hauls ass, and I can control myself, backpedaling, and it's such a nice boat. I don't think I'll never get rid of that boat, because obviously it's a special place in my heart. But that boat's been great. And just recently, I've really fine-tuned it to the point of minus an anchor. I've never used an anchor. I do have a setup part now. But yeah, that boat will be my life until it sinks.
Yeah, man. I remember my first MAKB tournament, and I saw you in the red PDL, and I saw this giant live target stick, and I saw a bunch of other stickers. I'm like, oh my God, is this guy a professional? Because I didn't know anything back in the day. And then you won it, so I'm like, oh geez, this guy's gonna be hard to beat. And so that was my first impression of you.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been that guy, and let me tell you, it's it's one of those things where life gets involved, and medically, I was in tough shape last year. I had to miss a few. My back just doesn't agree with it sometimes, but yeah, this year I came in a little bit different. Like I said, the first couple were tough, and then I started to find a groove, and I think if I can hold on to it, maybe I can get that infamous AFY again this year. We'll see. Bruce,
you don't have enough self-confidence, man, because everybody in the club knows that you're somebody to always look out for, regardless of whether we're fishing places that pertain to your style or not. You're a name that everybody like, all right, he's somebody that can pull this off at any of the tournaments. So don't get your head down. You're definitely a stick. No, yeah, man. And everybody, I'm speaking for everybody on this one.
Yeah. I mean, it's humbling, because there's, some of the people that come up to me or have reached out to me since Nashua, It's been crazy, you know, because you don't realize the effect you can have on people just by doing a good job catching fish. You know, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's really amazing, and it's insane what you did at this past tournament on a river. We're actually gonna start. We're gonna get into it, Bruce, because this was a pretty crazy day. I'm gonna have to pull it back up. Actually, I forgot that. I thought we weren't gonna be doing this because you lost service. So give me 1 second.
I don't know what the problem was with that iPad. It's like crap.
But you're on your phone now. It's working great.
Yeah, yeah. So my arm's getting tired. So let's speed this up.
All right, I'm gonna pull it up in a second here. Cool. All right.
Love the hand.
All right, so Bruce, we were looking at numbers right now. You took first by a long shot with 102.5 inches. The next person down had 81, which is Kevin Amaral. He's another great guy, great stick, part of the MAKB staff. 81.5. So you had 21 inches over the next person. That's unbelievable. Like that is those. I've never heard personally. There's probably somebody out there who's done it, but probably not in a tournament with over 100 inches in Massachusetts in a single day or in a single day tournament.
Yeah, I was curious about like what the big bags are throughout the country for one day. You know, through KBF. I'm just curious. I'm still up there. You know, like Florida guy.
They hit hundreds for sure, but not every tournament. But I mean, southern states like that, you see close to 100. But for Massachusetts, man, that's incredible.
Yeah, it was an interesting day. You know, the weird part about it is I think I released 2 bags in the mid 80s. So that's how many fish I caught that day.
So
the first big bag I had, it was like 88 or something, and then I called all that up,
which is unbelievable. I do remember Nate Chagnon calling me, saying that he talked to you and that you had 100 over 100 inches. Naturally, I said bullshit. I was like, he's saying that to get in your head. That's something Bruce would do. He's like, no, he said he's serious. I'm like, Nate, I don't believe it. There's no way that somebody has over 100 inches in Massachusetts on a tournament day. And then when I started thinking about it, I'm like, damn, I haven't checked the standings in a while. Maybe he does. And then he said that you were going to sandbag just because you wanted the suspense after the standings went down. For somebody to throw up over 100 inches is great. And I admire. And then when I got to the boat, I saw the confidence in your face. You were literally glowing. You had a little smirk, even though you weren't even trying to smile. But let's run through your day, man. With the current bag that is on the screen, your 19 and a quarter was. Oh, I'm sorry. It was your 20. There was a 20 at 8:24 a.m. Let's talk about that fish. Tell me what was running through your head when you caught your first 20.
Well, yeah, it started out like, so, you know, I mean, we launched at the same spot or whatever, that's no secret. And when you went out to the main river, I was like, holy shit, he's leaving that whole bank to me. You know, that's what I was thinking in my head. So like my second or third cast, I get into like a 16.75, then like a 17.50, and then they just slowly started getting bigger as I worked down this particular bank. And I pitched into this small little set of grass and just clicked the reel over, and my rod loaded up, and I'm like, friggin' log, you know, I mean, because there was all types of wood there. And then out goes my line and starts pulling the kayak, the thing come out of the water. I thought it was like a 24, you know, I haven't seen a big fish since the nip, you know. So it was so I got it in the net, and I was like, holy moly, you know. It was a good fish for sure. And then it was like within. I don't know if does that timestamp everything. I can't see it on my phone, but
It does. So your next big fish, or yeah, your next big fish was the 19 and a quarter at 9:47.
really,
Yep.
huh? They came way faster than that. I had that bag. I had that bag by 8:30. No, before that, quarter of 7, quarter of 8. I mean,
I got you.
had
So, yep.
I had that bag on like measured at quarter of 8. Because I had called Ken and asked him what the club record was, and he thought I was full of shit too. And so when I just told him I had it, and I had it covered, he was like, "What?" He thought I was full of shit. But yeah, I had that bag early, so I don't know how that time stamps it or whatever. But
it's probably time of upload and not actually time of taking the picture. I should have thought about that before I started bringing up these fish.
Yeah,
but I mean we could still break it down.
Yeah, no worries. I mean, a lot of people frown on that, but from past experience, and it's happened to a lot of people where if you start, if you're on a good bite, and I mean, I don't condone it, trust me, but this particular day was different. So, my kayak shines like the sun when in the water. So people will see that from across, and I'm not kidding you. They'll come down on you. And it's happened to me in numerous tournaments where I'm doing good. I upload my fish, and then before you know it, I'm I'm fighting to keep my spot, or I get pushed out, so normally, I'm not that guy. But this day was totally different. I'm, 100% guilty of what you want to call sandbagging, and it's only because I was protecting my spot.
You did it, and yeah, you have every right to do what you did. I mean, granted, there was nobody around me. Never mind you. That's people do those things, which is really shitty, and the fish that you were catching over there, nobody else was in the entire section of the section of river that we were fishing. So totally get it. Plus the amount of suspense when those standings go down, nobody knew that you had over 100 inches. So when those standings went back up, people were probably like, let me check these fish. And pleasantly surprised that you had a giant effing bag.
Yeah. Yeah. That 2150 was a tank. Actually, those a 27.5, the other 21, those are pretty fat fish. Even that 19 and a quarter, I thought that was a 20 plus, the way it hit. That was a piece of wood. I just kind of split the wood, and the thing demolished it. I couldn't get on a frog bite for whatever. I couldn't get, just whatever it was. I mean, once the sun broke and I went down into some muck, I was able to get on a small frog bite, and I just had a blast. Like I said, I released probably at least 2 bags in the mid 80s, getting 1750s, 1875s, and it's crazy when you put, you hold one on the board and you're like, I can't believe I'm throwing this thing overboard. It didn't help. It was crazy.
Yeah. Well, fortunately, you didn't stick with the frog like I did, man. I threw the frog. I mean, that place has literally football fields of duckweed and water chestnut that isn't fully developed yet, so it's not mats. So running a frog over it. But first thing in the morning, man, fish were blowing up at it left and right, but nothing was hitting it, and it wasn't anything big. And then Nate, we usually call each other. He calls me in the morning. And I look down at my watch and I go to answer it, and I literally hit the button, and then my frog, the giant swirl hits my frog. My frog goes under. And meanwhile, I'm holding my rod and trying to answer my phone, and I set the hook, and it's a big whiff. That was probably, that fish probably would have, put me somewhere in the money. But things. And then the frog bite was all dinks, 13s, like 13s that the frog would just fit in their mouth. I don't know how I was catching them, but the frog would literally just fit in their mouth, and they were the only thing munching the frog in my area. But it is what it is.
Yeah, it was. I had fun. Like I said, it didn't really pick up for me until the sun came out and pushed them right into the thick shit, you know. But all those big fish were in open water, you know, and snuggled right up, you know. It was crazy.
Yeah, I would love to talk about the area that you fished, but I don't want to give anybody any details whatsoever, just because of that bag.
There's one guy. Actually, we're holding a tournament for him this weekend. He knows. He showed up and left. I was like, oh, thank God. See ya.
But still, he doesn't know the area that you fished.
Right. No, that's true.
Yeah, and man, I wasn't even that far from you, and I
could see you most of the day.
Yeah, that's
I was hoping
the worst
that you
part.
weren't seeing these friggin' cows tail walking everywhere. I was like, man, he's gonna see one of these friggin' slobs splashing around over here and figure it out. But
no, I was scaring them all over in your direction. Apparently,
that trolling motor spooked them right to me.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, all I can say is I was one lucky son of a bitch, man. I mean, to have a day like that, you know, I've been fishing since I was knee high, you know, and you know, I've been fortunate enough to catch a bunch of, you know, a few fish over 8 pounds, and you know, deal with, you know, I've caught some decent fish throughout the years, but I've never had experienced, you know, a day like that. You know what I mean? It was one for the record books, I guess you could say.
You did weigh all your fish, right?
Yeah, I didn't get any pictures of them because I was shaking so much. So my smallest fish was like 4.7, and the biggest was like 6.4. So there was like a 5.8, 5.13 or something. So yeah, it was a good bag, 25-ish.
25-pound bag in a short stretch of river, man. That's unbelievable.
50 yards, bro. 50 yards. And I went back and I called one. So I had, it was like an 18.75. I can't remember. But I think maybe I had only 4 at the time when I went down the stretch. And then on my way back, there was a big overhanging tree, and I pitched into this little cut. And whoop, here comes a wake smash-o, and that was, I think, the 27.5.
Man.
Crazy.
Yeah. So you basically set the record. Well, you broke the record for Massachusetts Kayak Bassin, the club record, which was I think officially set by Kenwood at Snippetui. I don't remember where actually, but it was 95 something inches. But I do recall Chris Catucci caught 98 change.
96 and change, I think.
Oh, 96 and change. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But Ken didn't write that down for some reason. I asked him, or we were talking about.
Doesn't
but
count.
anyways,
We're out of state.
yeah. But now the record's set at 102.5 inches. And I don't know when that's ever going to be broken, if it's ever going to be broken. For it to be broken is going to be another day for the books. It's going to be one of those days that just it doesn't make sense. It's hardly possible in Massachusetts. So, I mean, we got to make a trophy with your name on it or a plaque, and then whoever beats it, because it's going to be a long-standing thing. And also, congratulations, congratulations on that win, and then the amazing fish for your AOI.
Thank you. I know I haven't seen the latest standings yet to see how that where that put me, but yeah, I appreciate it, John. It was like I said, very humbling. I mean, I'm sure you saw some of the videos I posted on social media with my hand shaking. I couldn't even hold the. You know, I get excited. I always have. People give me shit, you know, because I'm out of breath. You know, I mean, I just get so pumped. You know, it means a lot to me. You know, not just to do good, but just to be able to catch fish the way I do, and you know, and do it amongst, you know, some of the best bass fishermen, which with hands down, you know, in the Northeast, you know, there's no doubt that our club is, you know, loaded with hammers. So it means a lot to me when I can do something like that and make sure that, you know, people realize that it's actually, you know, you can actually do it. You know, there's a lot of guys that struggle, especially first coming out, and they get blanked or they catch dinks, they don't get a limit, you know, it kind of discourages them. But just keep your nose to the grind, man. It will happen.
Cool. So this gentleman here, Bobby Tran Jr., he's actually 15 years old. He just started kayak fishing. He's actually my fiance's cousin. He said he'll break it next year, so he's going to start fishing with us. But Bruce, give me 3 things that you tell newcomers to this sport. 3 tips that might help them become a better tournament angler, because a lot of times they think they're going to come in and, you know, start sweeping legs, but they get hit in the face with reality fast.
Throw out the Senko, throw out the Senko, throw out the Senko. Get rid of them. Burn the things. You'll catch fish, but you're not going to catch giants on a Senko. I don't care what anyone says. But anyways, no, in all fairness, you know, in all seriously, it's to me, is patience is number one, obviously. You know, me personally, I cover water. That's just my style. There's people that will sit in the same spot all day, Donnie Davis. And, you know, it's their cup of tea. You know, you want to fish slow, methodical, you know, finesse baits, then you can do that. To me, yeah, I have better success moving. You know, if I find, obviously, you find a slew of fish, you know, you can stop and do your deal. But, you know, the fish move around all day. You know, obviously, we're in a post-spawn pattern. So I don't think Nashua was a school. I just think somehow, or I don't know what the reasoning was. You know, the weather had a huge effect on those fish. But I think the moon was weird too that day. But anyways, you know, patience. You know, do your thing. I mean, like I said, if you know, it's hard because, you know, people always ask. You know, there's a couple guys in the club that I've always worked with. You know, and they've actually become incredible anglers, you know, starting out being, you know, a novice, and within 2 seasons they've won events. You know, it's a tough question for me because my style doesn't fit everyone else's. So, you know, patience, and throw out Senkos.
No, I get it, man. I mean, there's definitely different styles of fishing that people enjoy. Like you covering water. I think I'm more of a spot-oriented angler. Like when I try to start covering water, I see something that looks way too good, and then I find myself sitting on that forever trying to figure it out. It was like, why isn't there any fish? I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes it don't. It just like any other, you know, scenario. Just like sometimes covering water doesn't work out because the fish are more spot oriented. So it's definitely something that has its ups and downs with people. But I mean, obviously adapt. The best anglers try to have a little bit of both. I mean, which I've seen you sit on spots, and then I've also like what was it, Upper Mystic? You were in a not too big of an area, right? And you came in second, and you crushed it that day too.
That was a 98-inch bag. No, 89-inch bag. And Junior came in with a 90-inch bag or something. He beat me by a quarter inch or something that day.
Yeah, it was definitely a close that one, which it's a funny trend that people are always trying to beat Junior. Junior's one hell of a stick.
There he is. And that, you know, that day was actually the same bait that I've been using these last 3 tournaments.
Yep, I remember. So how many 20-inch bass have you caught or in the last couple of tournaments? Because now that you have a 21.5, 21, 27.5, 20, 19 and a quarter, all these fish are going into your
A
AOI
21. I had a 21 at the
nip.
nip. I don't think I got a good one at what's up. I think those are the only like decent ones, you know, and then minus like the 1875s and all that shit that I was culling or just throwing off back in the water. But yeah, that was I think that's it. So I got what like 321s, couple of 20s, blah blah blah. It's been a big fish. Last couple tournaments, I've done pretty good with the big fish, and I don't know how. I've just been getting lucky, you know.
It could be a little bit of luck. It could be a little bit of skill. Who knows?
Very little bit of.
But here, Nate Goodwin says Bruce is arguably one of the best shallow water grass fishermen in Massachusetts. Also, Nate Goodwin has said, "What's up?" a while back. If you did not see that.
Yeah, I haven't seen any of that. I was too busy butting out.
Yeah. Well, I'm actually really glad we got this figured out and able to do this.
Yeah, me too. You know, once again, I just want to say, you know, I couldn't be more humbled on all the response that I got from my crazy. Oh. Hold on.
Bruce, are you alive?
Yeah, you know, I'm my phone. So I've been holding my arms jello from holding it. So yeah, you know, I don't know what to say. It was a special day, and I hope that everyone gets to experience something like that, you know.
Just not in a tournament.
Yeah. Well, it changed my outlook. You know, it's weird to say that because I've been fishing for so long. You know, it's one of those things where you're like, you know, I just kept shaking my head every time I boated one. I'm like, what is going on here? You know, it's almost like, you know, it was weird, to say the least. Weird for sure. But I was happy at the end of the day. And, you know, that whole start of the day, we talked about this on social media or whatever, but, you know, pouring rain, you know, the ride sucked there. The wheel on my cart fell off. Thank God you were there to help me. You know, putting in sucked. Taken outside, but you know that I literally was going to go home. I think I even said to you, I'm like, you know, something's not right, man. It's not in the cards for me today with all the shit that was going on. And then,
yeah, it was brutal. It was miserable, rainy. You literally did say that you thought about home because you weren't even fully unpacked yet. The kayak was still on the trailer, and I mean, don't get me wrong, I was still thinking the same thing. And it was not in the cards for me. I mean, I only caught a bunch of 13s, but yeah, man. So now you've had really crazy recent success. What keeps your head in the game, fishing these tournaments and coming back time and time again to compete? Bruce, I don't want to see up your shorts.
Sorry. What a mess.
What keeps your head in it when you do have a bad tournament? Because we all have bad tournaments.
You know, I've learned to shrug that shit off. I mean, look at Messalonsky. You know, bee fishing. I had a blast. I was catching big fish, just like the last time I fished that beautiful piece of water. And then come tournament day, I struggle, and I don't know why. I get focused on one particular bite, and you know, I mean, like I said, you know, I'm not a Ned guy. Drop shot once in a blue moon. You know, I'll throw a jig, but the finesse stuff just isn't in my bag, and that's one thing that I keep on trying to tell myself that I need to, you know, I need to broaden my horizons a little bit with that stuff, and it's tough. But so those days that I struggle, you know, I think A1. My God, are you kidding me? I used to own that place, and I couldn't even put anything together. I couldn't figure it out, and I just eat eat a bag of Doritos and watch other people catch fish.
Yeah,
you know, I just taught myself just not to let it get to me. You know, it's I've had probably, I've had some good success with this stuff, and I'm blessed for that. But I've also had those days where you shake your head at the end of the day, like, what was I doing that everyone else wasn't doing? You know what I mean? I just can't figure it out, but I get through it. It's one of those things I've just taught myself to let it slide, work harder on the next one, you know?
Yeah, man, it's insane because I've talked about this before on here, but you watch the elites, you watch MLF, FLW, and then, not every single time the elites are killing them. Like there are days where these pro anglers, these elites skunk, or they catch one fish, they don't fill out a limit. So it happens to everybody, and keeping that in the back of my mind definitely, it makes me feel a little better, especially when I'm, sucking, because they can suck too. You watch KVD fish like shit, and then next thing you know, you watch him win a tournament. You watch him catch 60 pounds in, like, I don't know, 10 minutes. What he did the other day was insane. I don't know if you saw that.
20 minutes. He boated something like, I don't know how many bass, but it was a shit ton.
Yeah, like something like that is crazy. Sometimes it's in the cards for you, sometimes it's not. But it just keeping that positive mental attitude to, try to do the next one as best as you can, and it all works out. Sometimes it doesn't. That's part of the sport. It's such a crazy sport.
Yeah, I know. It really is. And, some days you're thinking, like, why do I do this? And then you have a miracle day, and then it all makes sense again.
And then, you make a decline back to, why the hell do I do this? And then it happens all again. And then it's a vicious cycle.
Really is. Really is.
Cool. So yeah. Bruce, are you going to hit up any of the bigger tournaments, any of the bigger trails, EKF or KBF, or are you done for the year traveling?
Yeah, it's tough, man. I got a total of 6 weddings coming up in the next 2 months. So, my son's getting married a week from Saturday. Then my nephew, my niece, it's just whatever. It's a jam-packed rest of this summer. So, like, traveling, I think, is pretty much done for me, unfortunately. As much as I really want to try to make Champlain for the EKF and all that stuff, it's a pipe dream at this point.
I gotcha.
If they were doing Lake George again, I think I'd probably try to get there, because I like that place. But minus that, it's homebound for me, baby. Locals only.
I hear you. I get you. It's tough, trying to make time and leaving the family and taking time off of work to make all these things. Some guys are able to do it. And I mean, I'm pretty fortunate to where I can make most of them, but I'm super jealous of the guys that can make all of them.
Yeah, it's aggravating sometimes, because it's like, I wish I could, but I'm not in my 20s anymore. My job has got a pretty good grip on me. So it's tough. It's tough to actually make the commitment, Maine was fun. But I use that as vacation. So, minus not finishing the money, I had a blast. A lot of good people up there.
Yeah, like we've said before with last episode with Mike, man, that's one of my favorite events. The last couple of years, just the whole setup is amazing. I cannot wait to get back. But
yeah, what's our next one?
Our next one. For Massachusetts Kayak Bassin, it is, drum roll,
NIP 2.
I think it is. Yeah, it is NIP 2. So we'll see if we actually fish the NIP. I have no problem with the NIP. NIP's always been pretty decent to me. I've always caught decent fish there. Just last time, where it was hurricane force winds and 45-degree weather, it didn't matter what type of rain gear you were wearing. It was driving rain, and it was cold and miserable. But
yeah, those some big fish caught that day, though. Look at Valva. The kid put up some monsters, man.
Couple 20s. You caught some good ones. That place has them. That place can be bittersweet as well. Yeah. So we got
humbled there before too, you know,
Definitely.
fish.
Man, I can't believe we're fishing the Charles River again on August 7th. Yeah.
That place has got my number, you know. There's one spot that I've launched the last like 3 times we fished it. And if I fish it again, I'm going to launch there again because I got something I got to prove to myself that there is some numbers in that area. I mean, it just looks so incredible. It's got everything it needs, just the fish are never there. But
hopefully they're there this time. I mean, well, actually, I'll be there. So
yeah, you know, I'll probably end up fishing it. That's one place I have to come out of my shell with because it's you know, my style just hasn't worked there. You know, granted, Ken did well there last year, but I don't know it enough. I guess I should probably, what's that word? Pre-fish? Yeah.
Pre-fish, the devil's word. Now, Bruce, I want you to tell everybody how you actually feel about pre-fishing. Lay it on us.
No. Everyone knows. Everyone knows how I feel. If it was up to me, we'd be doing no pre-fishing for our tournaments. But, you know, to me, it's, you know, it's with all the technology these days and avionics and all that shit that you can do from home, you really have to go blow it up, you know? I don't
Well, that's
know.
the thing. There's a lot of guys that don't know how to pre-fish and they just literally crush it. And then they'll catch a huge bag, you know, a couple days before the tournament and be like, oh yeah, I'm going to kill it. And then next thing you know, the whole place is burned out because the bodies of water that we have aren't that big. I mean,
yeah, that's a touchy subject. I'm sure we'll get some comments on that. It's, you know, to me, it's to each his own. You know, I know there's a lot of people that thrive on pre-fishing. You know, they want to know you know, the layout a little bit better. But like I said, you can see all that shit online between YouTube and avionics and all that. You really don't. I don't think there's a need for it, especially all the local shit that we've been fishing for multiple years. You know, but
right. I mean, it's tough. It's yeah, I know. I'm a huge proponent of pre-fishing only because I feel like I can find out something different every time I go to a body of water, but not hammering it, but by graphing it out or by, you know, knowing certain weed growth in new areas or old areas and just different things like that that might play into especially, you know, pulling offshore where a lot of guys in these places, they know the bank very well, so they're going to go around the bank or offshore, whatever. It's just for me, it's a little bit of homework. I don't get to pre-fish too often for local tournaments, but I mean, I would if I could, being honest.
yeah, no, I hear you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's because I'm jealous I don't have the time to do it. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I keep telling myself. Maybe I'm just jealous because I don't really have the time to go and pre-fish a couple of days in a row before the, you know, but, you know, it is what it is. Like I said, these bodies of mass, you know, they're all pretty much all the same until you get into the clear deep water, but, you know, it is what it is.
Yeah, well, hopefully. You're hitting the clear deep water this weekend, right?
I am. Yeah, my son's in town, so I'm going down the Cape, see if we can't get some bronze backs, you know. See how it goes. Like you said, the wind's supposed to be howling, and I'm putting him in the FS10, so we'll have to see what happens. You know, he sucks anyway, so I won't catch any fish.
He's too used to fishing that 4 feet of water with a ton of grass in Florida and Fellsmere.
Yeah. Oh my God, man. That place. Bass boats are ruining that place down there.
Yeah, I can't believe they did that. I mean, that's a shame.
Yeah, complete shame. But it's big enough to share because they are in I think there's a 2-mile canal they have to take to go down before they spill out. So that gives the whole northern part of the lake to the kayakers, which is good, but it's the southern part's where it's at. There's some giants in that place. I think they tagged a 15 there not too long ago. So they're really starting. Yeah, it's only 6 years old. They stocked it with over 1 million. And I think the average bass is like 5 right now, and they're catching multiple 8, 9, 10, 11s. you know. If you ever had the chance, I mean, you guys were down there for the tens and shit. I can't believe you didn't go over there.
It's tough because you take all the time off from work to pre-fish because for the 10 and the 10 Invitational, there's a crazy amount of water that you have to cover, and you never know which one's going to be on fire. So you spend an entire week fishing a new spot every single day just to try to dial it in.
True that.
Oh, running to get your charger.
Yep. What a mess, huh?
It's all good, man. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. I'm sure some of the guys are too.
I honestly thought the guys will be busting your balls more, but I'm getting a lot of love in the comments. I don't know if you could see it. I don't think you can. Oh, you also muted. Can't hear you, Bruce. Turn on the mic.
How about now?
There we go.
All right. Sorry.
It's all good, man.
Oh my God.
But like I was saying, you're getting a lot of love in the comments, man.
Well, good. I appreciate that. What was I going to say? Oh, we're talking about Fellsmere, but, the fish, I think, I don't know. I don't understand why there isn't more like 10-pounders caught up our way. Everyone always claims, oh yeah, my uncle got a 10-pounder out of there back, last year. I'm like, no, he didn't. I just don't understand why there isn't more big fish. I guess it's probably because we just can't house them and the amount of pressure that they get. But I mean, we know there's big fish around here, but
yeah, I don't know.
When we put 25 body of the water, it's like, how isn't, I mean, we've had a couple sixes, couple eights. I think I got, what was that stump back to back? I got like a five and then an 8 high, it was like 715 or something. And then the kid down at Wareham got that 8-pounder on a Ned in the pouring rain.
Yep.
So, I mean, there's been some big fish caught in our tournaments, just not, not the numbers.
Yeah, nothing exponential, but which it is crazy to me because sometimes we fish these, herring-fed lakes that do have big fish, but it's never that, that outlier, that 9-10, like you're saying, the double digit that a lot of other places, more south have them.
Yeah. I mean, they're here. I think they're just, those are the night feeders.
Definitely.
Everyone always talks about the swim bait guys, they fish at night. Well, there's a reason for it, because those big bitches come out at night.
There is for sure. I mean, I know this weekend is the KBF. They're doing the Father's Day Challenge, and I think I signed up for it, so I think I'm going to fish mainly all day Saturday and into the night on Sunday, just because I want to see if I can get on a decent night. But I don't have the opportunity to night fish too often. But I mean, some people make fun of it. Some people love it. I know for Ken says it's night fishing's the live scope of fishing or something. I don't know. He made a comment like that not too long ago. He's a hater.
That's funny. It's true though. I mean, they'll snuggle down during the day. I mean, you can only really trick those big fish during the spawn, pre-spawn. And then, I don't know. Like I said, that's why I couldn't understand what was going on at Nashua. And then that one, I think it was 20, I don't know, it was like a 21 with the busted up tail.
Yep.
I'm like, is this fish on a bed? You know what I mean? But I saw a bunch of beds, but they were vacant. There was no fish on them, And
yeah,
so that's why that fish confused me. I don't know what was going on with that, because, I mean, that tail was bleeding on the board,
Yeah, for sure. All right, Bruce.
Me snagging that fish, but we all know that's BS.
I don't know how you can snag anything, and that the water's not that clear there anyway. So
no, No, that's for sure. I mean, they were choking. They were choking the bait I was throwing. But yeah. Hey, John, thanks, man. Thanks so much for having me on. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. We're at 1:05. It was fly. So do you have anybody you want to shout out? What's up?
Yeah, 20 minutes of that was me fumbling trying to get signal. Yeah. I mean, this shout outs. Obviously Mike and Gail from MGC. They've been great to me for the last few years. They've done a lot to help me out with a lot of stuff, gear and whatever. Definitely Strike King. They've helped me out tremendously this year. And X Zone, I'm staffing for them now. Probably don't give them as much love as I should. But I do throw their product. That's a great product. And then, all you guys in MAKB, Ken, obviously everyone knows I have a special spot in my heart for that big dude. And that's it, man. I hope I can keep it going. I want to wrap up this AOY thing this year and see if I can't make a move next year into some of the bigger tournaments,
Yeah,
we'll see what happens.
It's a matter of you just getting there, I think. So, I mean, you basically got this AOY thing wrapped up. It's going to be almost impossible unless for some act of God, somebody catches, the minimum of 3 or 2 20-inch fish for the next, what do we got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 tournaments. It's going to be almost impossible to catch up to you. But Bruce, congratulations, man. I want to say thank you for coming on. Love to talk to you in the future, and looking forward to seeing you soon at the next tournament.
Yeah, man. I can't wait. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
No problem. All right, guys. Say thanks to Bruce. He's going to be out. And then if you want to stick, everybody want to hang out for a second so I could talk about something that we're doing for a buddy. All right, Bruce, have a good night.
Hey, take care, bro.
You too. Bye. All right. So as of recent, we had a buddy. I talked about this at the beginning of the podcast. We had a buddy who flipped and lost a lot of his gear. Our buddy Chris LaCourse. He's a stand-up guy. We love him to death. He's always been there for us, so we're going to be there for him. We're hosting an online tournament in Massachusetts. It's a $30 entry. Half the proceeds will go to Chris, and the other will go to First, and then the rest to Lunker. You can, if you're from out of state, you can sign up just as a donation. We would really appreciate it. But we want to get Chris back on his feet because he lost, thousands of dollars worth of gear. And we know he would do the same for others in the club or anybody who actually needed it. So you can make your way to Fishing Chaos, go to the MAKB club, and it's open. So you should be able to sign up and have no issues with it. I really enjoyed watching. I saw up to 19 viewers, which is huge for me. Look at my ugly mug, and 15 right now. So everybody have a wonderful night. Go catch some fish this weekend. It's supposed to be a little brutal, but sometimes that's the best. All right. Take care, everybody. Have a good night. Bye.